Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show from the CPRS Conference 2026. In this episode, we sit down with Anthony Harris from the City of Inglewood, an inspiring leader in youth sports and community programming. With over 20 years in athletics and 6 years in parks and recreation, Anthony shares how this field goes far beyond the game. It's about shaping lives, building character, and creating opportunities for the next generation. From powerful success stories to the impact of volunteers and inclusive programs like adaptive sports, this conversation highlights what it truly means to serve a community. If you're passionate about making a difference, this is an episode you don't want to miss. Let's dive in.
All right, this is Craig LeBlanc here with the Daily Parks and Rec Show live from the CPRS 2026 convention. This is day we on, Anthony. It's like day 200 on this.
Day three.
Day three. How has your convention been going?
So far, so good. Full of energy. It is my third conference here at CPRS, and it never disappoints. You get something new every year. So
Yeah.
excited for the next day and a half.
How many years you said you've been coming to this?
This is my third year.
Man. Now, how long have you been in Parks and Recreation?
Been in Parks and Recreation for 6 years now, and went to my first CPRS conference 3 years ago in Palm Springs, and man, never turning back.
Man,
Yeah.
what did you do before this, before Parks and Rec?
I've been in athletic administration on the high school and the collegiate level for 15 plus years. Wanted to get my time back, and got into Parks and Recreation. And man, you know, as an athletic director, I can get on campus and impact campus community. But when you can get into a city and impact an entire city through programming and various things, and it sparked a new purpose within me. So really excited about it.
So let's talk about that purpose. Maybe we can define a little bit of your why you keep coming back year after year to this industry, and kind of where you see yourself going in the next maybe decade.
Yeah, you know, the why has to do with the people that we impact on a daily basis through our programs. I oversee citywide youth sports, so it's really all about the kids, and it's much more than the game. It's much more than sports. It's about the life lessons that they learn through sports, whether that be, you know, development as a young athlete, development as an individual, you know, as a teammate, developing discipline, structure, perseverance, those types of things. Those are the things that are really important. That's going to help them develop and become a good citizen in society as they grow. So that's really what it's all about.
So we talk about the differences that your programs make in kids' lives. Is there any stories that kind of stand out, that kind of just hit you in the face when you started this, that said, okay, this is why I'm doing this?
Yeah, for sure. You know, those kids who are kind of lost, those kids who haven't fit in certain areas in their life before they got into some of our programs, whether it be a specific sport, whether it be dance, whether it be a camp, becoming a junior counselor, something like that. But specifically, one young man who came into our program years ago, actually even before our time, his name is Jason Crow Jr., who's now the all-time leading scorer in CIF basketball. Accepted a scholarship to the University of Missouri, came through our City of Inglewood youth sports program. So a tremendous story. Someone who participated in basketball and track and field along with his sister. So those types of stories are the ones that stick with you and make it gratifying for you as someone who's really putting their heart and soul into Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Now, how does that differ from other parts of your life where you find yourself either working for the money, or maybe you're just not having the community impact that you want? How does Parks and Rec differ from all the other walks of life that we see people operating in?
Yeah, there's so many different walks of life. And, you know, when people ask me what I do, if I was in athletic administration on the high school or collegiate level, like I had been, they truly understand that. But when I say Parks and Rec, they're kind of puzzled. They have that look.
You cut grass for a living.
Hey, what is that, a career? You know,
Yes.
But they don't truly understand the depths of what we do and how many people we impact, whether it be with developing park master plans, programming for seniors, after school programs, sports programs, you name it. We're making a big impact in the community, and it's on a daily basis, and it's nonstop, whether it be special events. You know, there are kids who don't get a chance to celebrate Christmas very well, but when we have our holiday in the park, you know, they get gifts, they see the lights, they are celebrated through these seasons. So it's really important work that we do. in my opinion, people should know about Parks and Rec.
Yes. And that's something I noticed when I came into this industry, is that, oh my gosh, nobody's telling this story. And it's such a great story, not just of the professionals of Parks and Rec, but just the impact they're making in their communities. Maybe you can speak a little bit about the impact that you've seen that you just almost don't see anywhere else in any other career profession.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a pleasure when you're in the city. You're off the clock. But Parks and Rec, you're really never off
What
the
is
clock.
that?
So you could be in the supermarket and someone comes up to you and they call you Coach Harris.
Oh, I love it.
Or Coach Anthony. And you kind of look at them and they look kind of familiar.
They're like 6 feet tall instead of being 3 feet tall.
Yeah, they're 6'2", and you saw them when they were 4'2".
Right.
And they tell you directly, you made a huge impact in my life. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't play on your team and didn't learn these life lessons. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's the gratifying part about it. And how many corporate 500 companies that work in those companies are going to have people come up to them and say they made that impact in their lives? Not many. And you don't see that development over time and through the years. And then these young people come back to our community and want to give back to the community and pay it forward because of how important it was in their development. So pretty cool stuff.
Maybe talk about because I think I remember you saying y'all have a big part-time staff and even volunteer staff. Maybe you can talk about what they do for the community and how y'all kind of incorporate them into what y'all offer.
Yeah, well, I'll talk specifically about volunteers first. So in our citywide youth sports program, the volunteers are really the backbone of our program, because without them, we just don't have enough staff to coach, to be game management, to officiate, to keep score, you name it. So typically we have a big recruit with parents to come and volunteer in our program. I say, we tell parents, you're going to be there anyway, so you might as well be a part of it. So you're going to be here for an hour for practice. Hey, why not be involved? And so those parents really get engaged by coaching and making a difference in those kids' lives. And without them, we can't do what we do. We do have an opportunity to take them through training and help them understand what our culture is and our league, to help them understand it's way more than the game. And these young people that we're entrusting to your care are super important. And that may be their first experience in sports, and first experiences are everything. So please, it's about the fun and about development, not about winning games. So we make sure that they understand that before they get out there. If they need help in practice planning and understanding the rules of the game, we really try to get in there and help make sure that they're in a good position to be able to succeed once they get the kids under their wing.
Right. And so let's talk about how important it is for parents to volunteer, and what are the reasons why parents are afraid to volunteer? And oftentimes it's just you reaching out and asking them, say, hey, you don't need to be qualified, you just need to be willing. But what are the fears that you see in parents about why they don't volunteer, and how can you kind of change that?
Some parents, unfortunately, they see it kind of as a babysitting. I'm going to drop my kid off at practice and I'm going to go shop for dinner, or I'm going to get some downtime or what have you. But it is really truly a special time where they could, do some things with their kid in an environment that's totally different from home, with other kids, and see how it impacts them in that environment. And 9 times out of 10, actually, I coached my kid growing up in Parks and Rec, and he was the only kid on my team that didn't listen to me. I don't know what that dynamic was.
But when you got home, that changed.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. And I just tried to keep it light with him and fun with him. But the other kids were like, yes, sir. Yes, coach. And, as he got older, those things changed. But even as a volunteer myself in Parks and Rec, I took it serious and I understood the impact, but it was more pleasurable for me than probably for the kids, And so I try to really recruit parents that understand that and really embrace what they're doing in the community. So it's a really important position.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now let's go into the part-timers. So we're talking about what lifeguards, camp counselors. What are the other kind of part-timers that y'all hire?
Yeah, so part-timers, I have a full staff of sports staff. And then when you talk about aquatics, you're talking about a different beast.
Oh, yes.
Aquatics can be, 15 people to 35 people. And so we have recreation aides, and we have lifeguards, Sometimes we have our junior lifeguard program, and then we have our water polo program in the city. So really important positions. Sometimes it's the first job of a young person.
Yes.
Working in parks. I think that's a great first job.
Yeah.
But we really spend a lot of time really training them up, pairing them with someone who's probably done their job before, and helping them take them through the ropes and help them understand this is not only a fun summer job, but it's super important because you're around water, and water can be super dangerous. So you got to stay locked in. It's all about safety, but then try to have some fun as well.
Yeah. You know, for the life of me, I can't figure out why Parks and Rec is the largest employer of part-time, first-time workers in America, and yet these kids, when they get to college, they're not even aware that you can do this as a full-time job. What if you had a group of undecided college kids that kind of don't know where they want to do with their life, where they want to dedicate their life to? What would be your testimony to them as why they should consider Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I mean, really something to pour your heart into are things that really mean a lot in the community. A business, a career that is really impactful to young people, to seniors as well. We have programs to where our young people interact with our seniors, and it is fantastic. We have water fitness for our seniors at the pool. You know, we have senior tennis classes where they are doing the exact same things that our young people are doing. So we're really proud of that. So we make connections with the Parks and Rec programs at Long Beach State and at Cal State Northridge, which I'm an alum of. And we bring them in as guest speakers to our community. We use our facilities to invite people in to be able to help them understand the careers that are available in Parks and Rec. And so I think we do a really good job of that. And through that is where we find our people.
I love it.
And then once we find our people, we coach them up, we mentor them up, and then they understand their impact. And then they go off to college, and now they have a foundation of what it's really all about. And then, you know, a lot of them really do come into the industry and flourish. Yeah. So my testimony is like, look, if you really want to make an impact in young people's lives, and not just in their lives, but in your community, there's no better way to do it than be in Parks and Recreation.
Yeah. And then what has this done to you? Who have you become in the process? Like, what has this industry made of you? Because, you know, on day one, this industry demands so many skills that we just don't have, because it's just throwing the whole kitchen sink at us from the city standpoint. How have you developed as a man and as a leader because you're in Parks and Rec? Yeah,
you know, somebody who's been in education-based athletics for so long, and, you know, being 10, 12 hours on the job, after 10, 15 years, you know, I wanted to get my time back. And so I got into Parks and Recreation, still kind of connected with sports, but I did not realize that I was going to be able to impact such a large group of people. I mean, being on campus in education is one thing, but being in the city and seeing so many different people, so many different ages, and so many different things with special events, with all of the programming that we do, enrichment programs, after-school programs, free lunch programs. It is fantastic, and it really helped me develop this new purpose. And man, I can tell you, it is super gratifying. No day is the same.
Yeah,
there's something exciting and different every day.
It's not a boring job.
No, not at all. And it keeps me coming back.
Yeah,
and that's really what it's all about. So yeah, it has changed me as a man, because my outlook is a little bit different, not only on Parks and Recreation, just on a daily basis, man. It helps me get up excited to be able to make an impact. And I could do that in a variety of situations in this role. So exciting.
All right, so let's talk about the future potential. What potential do you see in your community as stuff we can do, you know, always looking to do even more? Is there some program that y'all are developing or looking to expand?
Yeah, for sure. We're looking to do adaptive sports. And we did
can you define that for those that aren't familiar with?
So dealing with people with differences, whether it be autism or, you know, the inability to see. We did a Beep baseball program. Have you ever heard of Beep?
I've never heard of that.
So Beep baseball is for visually challenged individuals. And so I partnered with Beep. We got them to the City of Inglewood, and then came up and did demonstrations. We did practice with our staff and with people who signed up in our community.
Yeah.
and they learned the game of beat baseball, which is all on sound. So the softball actually beeps,
No way.
and you're tossing that ball. So you give that one slap on the glove to let the batter know I'm getting ready to pitch the ball, and then you pitch the ball and you can hear it beeping, and then that's how you make contact.
No way.
And so you have a first base line and a third base line. Those bases beep. So if you make contact with the ball, you have to get to that base and tag the base before someone in the outfield gets the ball and holds it up. So
That is so
man,
cool.
it is unbelievable. And some of my staff, they had the blindfolds on, and it was incredible, man. It was incredible. What a great experience.
Yeah.
So something that I was very new to, but very open to. So now we want to do some other things. Now we want to do like mobility device type things, like a basketball or a volleyball type thing. And so we want to expand that. So that's something new that we would love to bring to the city of Inglewood. That is on the horizon.
Fantastic. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing that part of your story with you. And really appreciate all the work that you're doing in your community. Definitely keep it up.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. You can close this out, Jovi.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.